And we're on the air. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be in this great, wonderful world we call home. It's the Aloha Hour. I am your humble servant, Mike S. Miller, and once again with me tonight is the eloquent and effervescent Edwin Boya.
Aloha. It is fantastic to be with you once again. And I just had to cut off the the YouTube page all started from where I was watching chat, and that was interesting to pick up that again.
Wait, what?
I was talking to your chat earlier, and so when you started talking, after about 2 seconds, I started getting the YouTube page talking at me too.
Oh.
So I was hearing Dose Miller.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Nice to see you live again. Thank you, friendly neighborhood ninja. That stream looks pretty clear. Well, at least from your end. Here, let me click off here and get a look at how my stream is coming in on the old iPad over here. Let's recollect.
Yeah, it looks crisper.
Looks crisper. Yeah, I'm hardwired right now. I got the landline or the Ethernet cable plugged in. So I have news. Your problem is your potato. The resolution was exquisite in Young Miller's stream. Makes your next real computer a tax deduction because Aloha Hour is monetized. I think the resolution right now is fairly decent.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I think I just need an Ethernet cable.
Stop trying to excuse the potato.
All right, what we got going on here? You have this. Some tweeters on your screen there, Mister.
Yeah, and so it's interesting about the timing of this. And so let's see. This got posted from SJW Spider-Man. Now SJW Spider-Man is one. Go ahead.
Troll.
Yeah, absolute troll. And I guess what I'm getting at is you can decide how you want to react to stuff. And so I'm looking at what he's posted here, and he's reposted a video of mine. And my hair is cut short, so this has to be, and looking at the painting this up, this is the video he's posted is from about a year ago. And here I'm talking about Alt Hero. Now, at the time, I thought Vox Dei was provocative but neutral, right?
Okay.
And I kind of went with the superficial analysis, where Vox.
Can we watch the video?
I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can get to it. They've reposted my video. The problem is I'm blocked on their other side. He's got me blocked. So actually,
it's not important. That's fine.
Yeah. But I say in the video, I say, I don't think Vox is a white supremacist, and the reason I said that is because he himself, announces that he's some part Native American and some part other stuff, right?
Oh, just like Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah, kind of like that. He may actually have some Native American heritage. I don't know. I'm not particularly interested. It doesn't really matter. Your particular race or ethnic background is not a license to say bad things, right?
It's not a license to douche. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. And I kind of went, and I find it interesting because I've kind of been denouncing the ideas of Vox Dei. And in fact, me and Umbrella went through a point by point stuff of all his philosophy today to kind of, rather than talk about people's opinions of it and stuff like that, we took his own words, right? So not paraphrasing, but used his own words and went through it really deeply. And so my opinion on Vox Dei has evolved based on his own words and based on communications I've seen him have with other people in the alt-right. I believe he's like a detrimental force to society, right? Because again, my theory is that America, the 90 or 80% of Americans that are normal, just want to live their lives and treat their neighbors with dignity and respect, are now caught between these hard left and these hard right poles that are trying to make everybody insane and eroding goodwill. So it's funny that these guys decided to go in on this after these SJWs now want to come at me after I've evolved my opinion on Vox Dei. Here's what they say. Boyette is one of those guys who seems to have picked up a minimal amount of comics knowledge on the fly and is basically an RNNJ. What is a RWNJ? A right wing?
Wing, New Jersey.
I don't know what that is.
Nylon jeans.
Here for a culture war. I am a cultural warrior, but I believe that culture can be changed by kindness and compassion. He was knee deep in Pizzagate. Knee deep in Pizzagate. I looked at it and like that spirit cooking and all that other stuff just looked gross. And the people around Pizzagate looked gross. I assume most of it was just kind of LARPing 4chan stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Before glomming onto the CG crap show. And so here's the here's the quality of the stuff I get from these guys. And so again, people can come at you and you can get enraged, or you can look and understand why they're using certain arguments, right? Or certain approaches, because they want to make you mad. They want to evoke some strong response. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is not to get mad at these people, or not to have some strong reaction, but understand how people try and manipulate your emotions. Right? And he says, he looks like he has a box of, I guess it should have had the word of here, of VHS tapes of neighborhood kids filmed through the curtains of his bungalow. And then Ryan C's Four Color Apocalypse says, I still say he's Kenny Loggins in Witness Protection 20 years later. And like Kenny, sometimes he's got to cut loose, foot loose. And then it's live action Herbert from the Family Guy. Okay. You can get upset by this stuff, and you can rail and you can rant and all this stuff. But it's interesting. And these fellows are kind of on the SJW side, right? They are. These are people who have been trolling and trying to come out against Comicsgate. And so it's interesting, though, that they chose to go with this in the last couple of days after I've made rather unambiguous statements about how I feel about Vox Dei and why, based upon his own words. And so they just want to undermine any argument. They want to sow discord, and there's no particular principle. Because if this side had some particular principle, right, they would say, "Hey, you're coming out against Vox Dei. Oh, well, good job, because we're for a liberal society, we're for tolerance and all this stuff, and yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate you pausing, reevaluating, and adjusting your opinion." But that's not what they're about. Right?
No, they have no principles.
Yeah. But there's no reason.
Hold on, I'm losing my super chat here. Liam, Australian $5. Joe used corporate power to usurp DeFalco while he was on leave caring for his pregnant wife or new kid and refused to give Tom his job back, right? I don't know. But thanks for the super chat. Liam. That was Liam. We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah. But don't let people manipulate your emotions. Right? And this is what I see guys like Vox Dei doing, right? When he came out with the Comicsgate imprint, he's trying to make you mad, right?
Yeah.
And he did make a lot of people mad. And he kind of was riding like a little teeny jockey, right? on people's emotional centers, right? And then so you just bring it down. You just bring it. Don't let any of these people, like, don't let these trolls, don't let these ideologues, don't let these people make you nuts, right? You can do better than that. You control your own. You are the master of your heart and the master of your mind, and never give over ownership or control over it to someone else.
Yeah, I've managed past couple. Heavens. I've managed past several streams to just like skirt all of this crap.
Oh, good, very good. Very good.
My stream today, everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah, we were talking. Who was it started bringing it up? I think it was Doug. Doug Tenapel started bringing it up, and he was like just getting into it, and I just started singing, "Everything is awesome." Everything is good. And he started singing it too, and he's like, "Oh yeah. All right, let's not get into that." So
yeah,
but yeah, they're just they'll use anything we ever say. They've got all of it in a little backlog. They save all of our screenshots. They save all of our videos. They save everything so that someday, if we say something that's not quite the same, they can bring up both of them and call us hypocrites.
Yeah, well, you will say hypocritical stuff. It's gonna happen. You're human.
You know what else you're gonna do? You're gonna change your mind once in a while about things, and that doesn't make you a hypocrite. That makes you a person who takes in new information and absorbs it and reasons through it, and then comes out with a different opinion.
Yeah,
that's not being a hypocrite.
No. Yeah, and this is life, though. This is life. Your perspective on stuff is going to change.
Yeah.
If you have the exact same ideas, if you have the exact same ideas that you have at 40 that you had at 20, something has gone wrong.
Yeah.
Something has gone vastly wrong.
Yeah. Did you want to invite anybody else in here?
Or? Have we heard from anybody? I haven't heard from anybody. I've got some sausage and spinach and tomatoes simmering on the stove. I was kind of messing with getting dinner going.
Yeah, I didn't want this one to go on too long because we're starting it so late. I just we did that. Well, gosh, we were playing that game for like 2 hours.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. So how are you doing, Edwin? How are you faring through all of this rigmarole?
I'm doing good. I just wish people would choose better patterns. Because what I see is people handing other people arguments. And I'm not saying I've never been guilty of this myself before, but go after ideas. You know, we all get frustrated sometimes, and we can attack personal characteristics. But any of this stuff that we're going after, you can attack ideas, right? And you can offer better ideas. You can offer your reason and so forth. And most of the stuff, and don't spend a lot of time talking to weirdos. If they don't make something you love or make something you love better, like all these different Twitter personalities and stuff, right? If they're not helping you bring something better, there's not a whole lot of reason to argue with them. You're actually giving them relevance by arguing with them.
Mad Cow says, unless it's Vox Dei, Edwin?
Unless it's personal characteristics. Oh yeah, and he's probably. I think when I was talking about Vox Dei earlier, I said riding like a little jockey, and I didn't even mean that to be a short joke. I was just talking about someone seizing control of your, taking the reins to your emotions and to your anger. Don't let anybody do that.
Yeah.
Did you see that thing from Jose Quesada?
Joe Quesada.
Yeah. Did I call him Jose? Yeah. Joe Quesada.
Yeah. But tell you what, let's read the Zuckerberg article first, and then just go straight into the Quesada one, and then we'll just tackle it as a
one piece.
As a the view from Olympus.
Okay.
Kind of a thing.
All right, hang on. Let me share this. Okay. Share. Going over. Oh, Yahoo. It must be a high quality article. Oh, Zuckerberg. See, all right, I'm going to have to break my own rules. He looks just like a real person.
Almost.
Here I'm saying don't attack on personal characteristics, but he has kind of like slightly like that the Zuckerberg or the Zuckerbot look to him.
When people like tone his skin down and put him in Data's outfit, I mean, he looks like Data.
Oh no, he does. Oh no. All right. Let's see. Mark Zuckerberg blames all of Facebook's problems on all those pesky human users.
It's like the best title everywhere. I mean, talk about clickbait.
Mark Zuckerberg sums up a lot of the challenges Facebook has been confronted with this year in a new post he published today to his Facebook page that after you read it can almost make you feel like a lot of what the company has been dealing with lately is sort of your fault. Facebook, according to its billionaire founder, is having to build systems and tools to fight misinformation that you're not smart enough to avoid or see through yourself. The company is also having to significantly ramp up its investment on everything from content moderation to security because, well, lots of bad people who keep trying to use Facebook to wreck Facebook. What I've learned so far is that when you build services that are used by billions of people across countries and cultures, you will see all of the good humanity is capable of, and people will try to abuse those services in every way possible. Zuck writes, "It is our responsibility to amplify the good and mitigate the bad." Zuckerberg famously sets a personal challenge to himself each year, which in the past has included things like learning Mandarin, but which this year is much simpler sounding.
Like a human.
But infinitely more complex task of fixing Facebook, which is another way of saying when you really think about fixing the things some of us either broke or are misusing. Now let's see. Wow, this is quite a long article. There's also an implied trade-off. Zuckerberg continues in his post today to be found in this work. Many of the company's hardest decisions mean having to weigh competing principles. Like, for example, giving people a voice is at the heart of our mission, but we also have the responsibility to keep people safe. Encryption increases privacy and security for individuals, but makes it more difficult to fight misinformation and hate at scale. Requiring verification for ads and pages makes election interference more difficult, but it also creates roadblocks for dissidents and smaller, less well-funded groups engaging in those debates. These and other recent efforts, problems, and self-inflicted mishaps are certainly weighing in on the company, shares of which slipped almost 3% on Thursday, enough to result in 16% quarter-to-date loss in its share price. Facebook's second worst since going public in 2012. And delete Facebook movement is also picking up speed. According to a Pew Research Center, more than 1 in 4 people have deleted the Facebook app from their phones, a figure that gets higher when you focus just on the 18 to 29-year-olds, 44% of whom say they have done so. Wow.
That's a nut punch.
Wow.
All right, now let's go straight, before we even comment, let's go straight into the Quesada.
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna pull that post up again. Let's see. I had it loaded earlier.
All right, I'll put it on me until you're done so you don't accidentally dox yourself.
Thanks.
Yeah, the Quesada thing, I commented on. I don't know if my comment is going to show up on the whatever you have there.
Let's see.
Nut punch. Yeah, that's I don't know. Facebook may be the next MySpace.
Let's see.
I've barely been. I used to be just on Facebook all day, and I've barely been on for like 2.5 months.
Let's see. Oh, here's he replied to you 33 minutes ago.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. So maybe we'll start with your post. Let me pull this out and share my screen,
Okay.
so I'm not sharing everything. Hang on a second. I have got so many crazy tabs open. Let me close down all this mess. I've got tabs open from when I was examining something from Ta-Nehisi Coates earlier. All right, let's see and share this out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And so this was a big thread where who Joe Quesada teed off on Maitland and some other people. And so Mike said, Joe, I'm curious. The personal insults aside, which I agree are not helpful, did you consider any of the actual constructive criticism that he who shall not be named and the community of 80 plus thousands of fans who agree with him have levied against Marvel? Mike, let's start here. He spreads untruth. He says things like he knows what's going on at Marvel and the entire industry. He speaks with a baby man voice when he wants to make something sound bad. Dude, I can do that with Return of the DK and make it sound stupid. Return of the Dark Knight.
I'm gonna
Okay.
take that as a no. I'll try to respond to him.
Oh, there's some more.
Oh, to me?
Is it? Yeah, no, it is. I think.
Is it really?
Looking at the, let's see. He's disingenuous, a failed pro who is bitter that he never got in. Well, now between his two books, he's raised over $500,000.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But I guess he doesn't have Marvel. He doesn't have
This is all
corporate
new to me.
comics.
I just want to see this.
You want me to read it? You want me to read it straight?
This is all new. I didn't even know he responded to me.
Okay, he's disingenuous, a failed pro who is bitter that he never got in and doesn't know what the hell he's talking about when he gives art and writing advice. And then, as if that isn't good enough, he attacks and insults pros in the most horrible fashion. So let me ask you, Mike, if someone like that gave you a critique, would you consider it remotely valid? Would you be listening with both ears wide open? If you and other pros want to stand by that and consider him a part of your gate, then to me, you support that garbage. Hang on, let me read this because I'm reading this too moderately. So I'm going to see if I can get under Mike's skin here. If you and the other pros want to stand by that and consider him a part of your gate, then to me, you support that garbage. I'm not telling you or anyone else what to do. I'm just telling you how I feel. Maybe this story from my life can explain it better. Oh no. My best friend in middle school was in love with the most beautiful girl in the class. She turned down his advances. He then told all of his friends that she was a slut. She was an awesome girlfriend to me and one of the nicest people I ever had the pleasure to be around.
Well, hold on a second. John Malin wants the link.
You got him? Or you want me to get him?
Let me see what I can do. I guess he's sending his viewers over here.
All right.
Ugh. Let's see, new message. Sorry for the delay, people, but you're the ones telling me to send it to him.
Let me come in here and say hello. Oh no, Malin is a unicorn denier. Malin, say it ain't so.
Alrighty.
John Malin fans incoming. I'm just scrolling up just to make sure we haven't missed anything.
John,
Howdy, guys.
how are you?
What's going on, man?
Everyone was telling me that there's this big scandal breaking open, and you guys are covering it. I need to know what's going on. What's happening?
So Joe Quesada wrote this, thing, and I believe in response to you, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Did it involve an anus?
yes. And then I wrote a short response to him, and he's written back a chapter to me. So we're going through it right now.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen any of these, so I'm ready for the ride.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's hit him with what he said to you. All right. So Mike said, Joe, I'm curious. The personal insults. Well, hang on. That's a lot of bass for a Miller. I don't know if I can. You're just going to have bass. I'm sorry. Joe, I'm curious. The personal insults aside, which I agree are not helpful, did you consider any of the actual constructive criticism that he who shall not be named in the community of 80,000 plus fans who agree with him have levied against Marvel? Mike, let's start here. He spreads untruth. He says things like he knows what's going on at Marvel and the entire industry. He speaks with a baby man voice when he wants to make something sound bad. Dude, I can do that with Return of the Dark Knight and make it sound stupid. Well, I can also do it with Marvel Comics. Let's see. He's disingenuous, a failed pro. John Malin, your business partner, right, is a failed professional.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of what a pro is different now. Comicsgate is really helping to change that. But if a pro is someone who publishes books and makes money, he's not failed.
Yeah, I think it's called failing upwards, or failing your way to $500,000. He's disingenuous, a failed pro who is bitter that he never got in and doesn't know what the hell he's talking about when he gives art and writing advice. And then, as if that isn't good enough, he attacks and insults pros in the most horrible fashion. So let me ask you, Mike, if someone like that gave you a critique, would you consider it remotely valid? Would you be listening with both ears wide open? If you and the other pros want to stand by that and consider him a part of your gate, then to me you support that garbage. I'm not telling you or anyone else what to do. I'm just telling you how I feel. Maybe this story from my life can explain it better.
Oh, brother Joe.
My best friend in middle school was in love with the most beautiful girl in the class. She turned down his advances. He then told all of his friends that she was a slut. She was an awesome girlfriend to me and one of the nicest people I had ever had the pleasure to be around.
The crap?
I don't know. I don't know.
You have to keep going. It's got the. Doesn't it have more replies?
Does it have more?
That can't be the end of his story, is it?
Yeah, that was it.
Moral of the story, what?
Yeah, that one, then scroll down a little. That's it? That's not good writing?
Yeah, right? Yeah, well, this is what we've been saying about Marvel.
Okay, John apparently hasn't seen the response to him. Did you see it?
Yeah, I was over drawing for like the last 2 hours.
Oh, you got to keep going. You got to go back up to what I was responding to then, Edwin.
Okay, let me get there. Let's see. Hang on. Let me go back to tweets. I'm looking for the one that started it off. Oh, he's actually responding to diversity in comics now.
Oh my gosh.
Should we take a look at that first?
Yeah, just like Kaz5166, Canadian $5. Joe is a joke. I'm mixed race, and he's a token.
Let's see. Diversity in comics. Joe,
I'll just say up front, I've met Joe several times over the last 25 years, but I wouldn't say that I know him. It was just one of those acquaintance things through the years, but nothing bad to say about him on a personal level.
Right.
So that's where we are. Just
Okay. All right. All right. So here I am the representative of the people here. The two of you are professionals, and so I'm acting as the spokesperson for the fans. And let's see. And this is if anybody understands it, the reason diversity in comics, he's a moderately good performer, but he captured the voice of the fans, right? He captured the voice of the fans, and this is why he has 80,000 followers, because he's saying so many of the things that people are thinking about. Joe, you employ Mark Wade, a man who sent a black wreath to his former boss saying, "What would your dead wife think of you?" Oh, did that really happen?
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh, how?
Oh, dang.
Oh.
Dynamo just said that Diversity in Comics has almost 90 now, 88,000.
The wife who died of cancer. You have him on 2 books. Don't act like you are some kind of a moral authority, and don't talk about my kids.
He talked about his kids?
Let's see what he said. Let me show this thread.
Wait, Joe's been busy on Twitter today.
Let's see. I don't know Mags, but he went after her livelihood, her passion, a career that she wants to build. Like her work or don't like her work, but the judging of that work should be done on the merits of it, not the fact that she's trans. This is a grown man with children of his own, not some 18-year-old kid who doesn't have a full perspective of the world. Would he be okay if one of his kids joined the comics field and was abused in the same way he abused Mags? Could you blame her for not accepting an apology? And by the way, if one of his kids wanted to be in the same field and was being abused online by someone like him, I'd say the exact same thing. That person's an a-hole. This is what I'm talking about. Is this the kind of person who is worth following, who is worth giving money to, who is worth collaborating with? Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think anybody should be in I would not recommend anybody working at Marvel Comics. Not at all. If this is your dream, abandon your dream. One, because you're probably not going to work there. Even if you're a fantastic writer, unless you have the right politics and you go play nice with these people for 5 or 10 years, right? Get people to write petitions for you, embrace all these particular causes, and do all this nonsense. Or you could just make something good, hook up with some good people, and cut right through all the nonsense. If you have the skill and talent, you can cut right through all the nonsense. Unless you're just one of these people, right, who needs someone else to tell you that you're good, right? Or to tell you can do, and that's I think sometimes this is why people want to work for Marvel or DC. Apart from the money, they want this external validation. But if you're chasing external validation, you're going to be chasing it your entire life. All right. Let's see if we can find where he was talking about Malin, because that should be fun.
It's the
I think it was about an hour ago.
yeah, if you go to mine and then follow mine back up, I think it should work.
All right, hang on. We're
Like
getting
the
there.
one when he was responding to me. I think.
Let's see. I'm looking. Diversity in Comics, Ian Black, Ash on Comics. I'm looking. Mike S. Miller. Okay, so I'm here. It's yours. We're following up. Man, he went kind of crazy on this. Oh, here we go.
Flash is in here now.
I was gonna make a video, but I gotta wait till he stops spurging. I'm gonna go hang out with you guys
All right.
because I want to capture it all. So I'll
Yeah.
make a video, and then he's gonna put something juicy out in 20 minutes. So
Yeah, he'll pass out sooner or later.
yeah, so I'll just hang out with you guys till he's done running his mouth. I'm so sick of these people. Look at this man. Nothing. He says nothing for like 4 days, and now he just decides to just virtue all over Twitter. Doesn't say anything. Doesn't say anything. I like how he says, "Oh, people say stuff, and we deal with it." You don't. They keep doing it. Like where there's no, it just shows there's no leadership at this company whatsoever.
Zero.
This is the
Zero.
first time I remember him saying anything about any of this,
He's never tweeted anything.
right?
This is the first time, man, that he's ever like spurged out, like or said anything in general about any Comicsgate stuff.
It's because of you, Malin.
They're feeling the heat, man. No,
Well, he
because
mentioned me.
Robbie Rodriguez.
He talked about me stabbing the comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, we'll
People
get
are
there.
stabbing the comics.
Right, so-
Hold on a second. Hold on. Kaz again for $5. The last super chat was me being mad. I'm calm now, brothers. In Metis, I pronounced Métis, a perfect combination of the Americas. Pronounced Métis. Oh, I'm Métis, a perfect combination of the Americas. Right on.
All right, so this was the shot heard around the world, the start of the comics revolution. John Malin, Spider-Gwen / Ghost Spiders creator Robbie Rodriguez, anus, censored version, colorized 2018, sent out for all customers to see. At Marvel still being Marvel, at Disney, again, this was kind of in response, breaking news, Marvel still
I
being.
think that's it. I think that's what you just did. You tagged Marvel and Disney in the same one with a big old bunghole.
Yeah, I think I've already done that though. I've done it like 3 times. I think the main thing was with it being directly to Joe Quesada.
That bunghole.
I think it was a perfect storm there.
For that bunghole.
Man, that's funny that he's talking about me stabbing that book. That must mean they're like, because you know they were having like meetings about Richard and shit when Axel Alonso was on there. When he was the editor-in-chief, they were having meetings about him. Isn't that funny that instead of like having meetings about their sales, they're talking about some dude that makes videos in a closet?
Yeah, they should have been inviting him to the offices and trying to sway him to their side or explain to them or say, hey, how can we get you to help promote us?
Exactly. But instead, you know, they hate the stuff that we do and they call it all harassment. Like, because I stab a comic. What should I do with it?
88,000.
88,000. All right, so Aunt Joe.
Just round it up to 90.
All right, so Aunt Joe Quesada, Aunt CB Cebulski, Diversity in Comics has 88,000+ followers because he has captured the frustrations of Marvel, and tag Marvel in there too, and Marvel.
And at Disney.
Marvel. Yeah, and at Disney. Disney.
Why don't you tag Ike Perlmutter while you're at it?
Does Ike Perlmutter have a?
He's like the CEO or some crap.
Does he have a?
He probably has someone that answers it for him. But hey, whatever, it's optics, right?
Well, isn't the guy who runs Marvel is like a Trump guy?
Yeah, that's Ike Perlmutter.
Money.
Yeah, but he's a classic CEO, and I don't think he's involved in the actual right. Let's see, Aunt Joe Quesada, CB Cebulski, and Diversity in Comics has 88,000+ followers because he has captured the frustrations of Marvel and really?
Boomer.
I am such a boomer. Keep lecturing popular creators whilst comic stores close. Should say wise up, but I'll leave it there. All right.
God, that picture's terrible. Thank you, Robbie Rodriguez.
So gross.
All right. And so where are there, let's see, show more replies. Yeah, I'm going to have to get back up into the thread. Let's see. See if we can do this. This thread has just gotten so big.
Well, he just keeps going. He's got to be drunk.
Yeah, that's what I think.
He's sitting in a bar right now. Yeah,
Either that or he got a call. He got a call that said, "You need to get out in front of this, dude." And
Oh,
now
so
he's
here we
on the
go.
spot.
Here we
probably
go.
his boss, Alana Smith.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Let's talk about the god awful things someone you're collaborating with has said and done to creators, to people I work with, to friends of mine, and to the industry that I love with all of my heart and so much more.
Poetry.
You work hand in hand with this person, right? Is that how it goes? Is Rich holding your left hand as you're drawing with your right?
Oh, is that what that was?
You work hand in hand with this person, right? And before this, the funny thing is when Nasser called CB the other day,
Mm-hmm.
when Nasser called CB Cebulski, actually spoke to CB Cebulski for about 6 minutes. CB told him, well, these people are just freelancers and contracted people. We don't actually have any control over their communications and so forth.
Why do you keep hiring them?
And so Joe Quesada, John Malin is a freelancer with a contract to Diversity in Comics. Why are you lecturing him? You should refer to CB Cebulski to explain how this works to you.
Mm-hmm.
You work hand in hand with this person, right? And before this gets turned around, I'm not critiquing this person's politics or his feelings about the world. I'm not calling him any derogatory names, except one. He's simply an a-hole. I could spend all night posting endlessly. Well, this is 3 hours ago and he's still going. This post did not age well. This post did not age well. I could spend all night posting endlessly all the awful things this person has said, but I'll leave that for others to do if they have the energy. Life's too short. And to avert the inevitable back and forth finger pointing, yes, there is enough impulsively reactive nastiness to go around. Heck, even from people I know. If it's an employee, we address these issues privately. Well, Joe, as consumers, we address these issues publicly, and that's why sales are down year over year, and
Well,
going
it's
to
because
continue to drop.
the issues are public. These issues aren't happening privately. These issues are happening publicly. That's what social media has done to us.
Yeah. In one post that I put to him, I said he's sitting on a bunch of PR nightmares that are boiling over. And if they're not, I don't remember what the exact words were, but I sent 2 tweets to him, and one was, I think, the Robbie Rodriguez, and the other one was, hey man, there's a big issue going on here, and I said, if you want to reach out to me, you can DM me. And I went and I followed him. So I don't know. Maybe I should check and see if he DM'd me.
Yeah. Hey, Rhaegar Targaryen.
I hope somebody's archiving all of this.
Rhaegar Targaryen for $1.99. Focus on improving Marvel, Netflix, ABC shows, Joe. And then Kaz for another $2 Canadian. No, Edwin, keep mocking them.
All right.
Go on.
So continuing on, but to put it in perspective, they didn't build YouTube channels to profit off of making people working in the industry feel like crap and go after their livelihood by getting fans to turn on them. This is someone you work with, John, and it's not cool, dude. Was it cool, John? Was it cool when Marvel chose not to renew you? Was that cool?
Well, was it cool when my editor was using political intimidation above me? Was it cool when Sana Amanat was saying that white people will be bred out of the United States? Is that cool?
Can I quote you?
Yeah, I'm sure.
So speaking with John Malin live, he said, and say that again. He said it wasn't cool when, say that last part again.
Lana Smith used political intimidation when she was my editor.
Used political intimidation when she was my editor.
When Sana Amanat said it, white people would be bred out. What's the actual quote, Yellow Flash? Do you know what that is offhand?
I believe it was like, Something along the lines, win or lose, even if you
No.
supported Trump, we will remember you.
The Sana Amanat one.
Oh, which one, man? She's been like,
We're
we're all
we're all
gonna
gonna
be
brown.
we're all gonna be brown one day, and there was another one. I can't remember what she's talking about. I can't remember. The everyone's gonna be brown is the big one, but there was another one. We'd have to have Doug in here. He has all of them.
Should I leave that out or should I?
Yeah, go ahead and take that out and just put in when she used political intimidation and when Tom Brevoort backed her up.
And when Tom Brevoort.
You can at him.
Oh, that's right. Well, he may have blocked me. We'll see. Tom
It's okay. He didn't block Joe.
Brevoort.
That's not him.
Yeah, I may not be able to add him.
Yeah, you're blocked for sure. He blocked he chain blocked. So,
And Tom Brevoort backed her up. Joe, why didn't you speak up then?
Just at Tom Brevoort.
At Tom Brevoort, his name spelled out all the way?
Yeah.
Okay. There's one E in Brevoort, right?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
TOMBREVOORT?
I think
Double
so.
O?
Yeah, that's
Was it indifference or cowardice? Indifference or cowardice? That's probably going to get me blocked, but I think it's a good question. All right.
I didn't want to bring up that in what he had just said right there, that Zach had created this channel in order to do this, that, and the other. No, he didn't. He created a channel. He just started criticizing comics, and people agreed with him, and that's why they kept coming.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't set out to try to tear down Marvel or something. He just set out to critique comics and to push good comics. That's what Move the Needle was about. It was trying to push good comics and get Marvel and DC to stop focusing on the crap that people don't like and start focusing again on the good stuff. And people kept coming, and people kept coming.
Yeah, he's the Howard Stern of the comic book industry. That's what he is. You put Howard Stern and Siskel and Ebert, mix it together. That's what Richard is.
With a really bad haircut.
Critic. He's a critic that's trying to be entertaining, and so he's getting out there and saying exactly what he feels about these books. And they always keep replacing words like harassment or abuse. Look, all it is criticism. Nobody's going out there. There's no picket signs. There's no getting punched at conventions like we're getting on our end, which what happened to the quarterly or the quartering, Jeremy, at a convention, about a month back.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, we are not doing any kind of harassment. This is just criticism.
And nobody's trying to get any of their employees removed from conventions or anything like that, or targeted, like what's happened to you, what's happened to the Brightwisers, what even they tried.
Oh, he responded to you, Edwin. He responded.
No,
he did 1 minute ago. 1 minute. It's
he's
right there in the top two.
Well,
he didn't respond to me though.
Let me get through this, and then we'll go look at that. Let's see. It's unfair to malign a whole group of people off of the bad behavior of a few, to paraphrase Stan. In my opinion, words like bigot, Nazi, SJW, etc., to get thrown around too liberal. Okay, I actually like this. Good call here. Yes, good call here. Your consumers are being maligned. Okay, There we go. All right. But you're a professional in this industry, John. You and those professionals like yourself who think it's cool to see other professionals abused and insulted by your collaborator should know better because you know what it's like to be in the trenches. Yes. Yes, Joe. Malin knows what it's like to be abused by his collaborators at Marvel, by
Yeah.
Marvel itself. He understands this very well.
Yeah.
You know what it takes to create a comic, the blood, sweat, and tears, and you have a fan base that follows you. Yeah.
Okay.
Could we get him live on here?
Yeah. Tell Joe Quesada to come on here. Say, come speak to us live. John Malin live.
Let's see.
He wouldn't do it in a million years.
You said he replied to me?
He did. Should be on like the second tweets. The first two tweets are him to you. There it is.
Okay. So he says, Edwin, if he wants to critique comics, he should keep the personal stuff and attacks out of it. I think you inherently know this as well. Take, for example, his position that comic professionals should be nice to the entire customer base, no matter who they are. Okay, I get that. But he and other pros who support him insult a segment of the audience they deem SJW. Isn't that insulting a segment of their audience? Joe, we are discussing your comments and observations live on Mike Miller's YouTube. You are more than welcome to join us.
Yeah.
No?
No, that's fine.
Now, if we could get him on here, that'd be awesome.
Let him know I'm on here too. That might not be communicated.
Let's see. John Malin, Mike Miller, the illustrious Yellow
Everyone's
Flash
drunk.
and I are discussing the industry,
I'm the what's a good knife name?
the perspective of the consumers, and Yellow Flash guy's Bowie knife.
That might scare him. Maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah, we won't do that. We won't.
Edwin, after you send that, can you go back to my post and read Joe's responses again?
Yeah, let me see if I can get back to this. Let's see. Tell me if I zip past your name. I'm looking. Let's see. The post to you were about 45 minutes ago now, right?
Mine was at 10:05. I don't remember when his responses were.
I'm looking. Here we go. All right. And you said, Joe, I'm curious. Personal insults aside, which I agree are not helpful, did you consider any of the actual constructive criticism that diversity in comics and the community of 80+ thousands of fans who agree with him have levied against Marvel? I think it should have been leveled. Is it levied? Is it levy or level?
Either works.
You level an accusation.
All right. Mike, let's start here. He spreads untruth. He says things like he knows what's going on at Marvel and the entire industry. Well, he's looking at Comic-Con data and so forth. I mean, it's not opinion. You can see that sales are down. You can see that comic stores are closing. You can hear like the fans that come in every day.
Can you scroll that up so I can see the title of that particular tweet? Like, does it say he's replying to me, or it's just him posting?
Yeah.
Okay, because I went and looked, and it wasn't a response. Like,
no, it's a quote tweet. Yeah.
A quote tweet. Okay. Interesting. All right. Never mind. I was wondering why I couldn't see it.
Yeah, so it would show up in mentions, yeah. My mentions. Let's
Okay.
see. I don't think he ever finished his story. It was just, I had an awesome girlfriend. The end.
No, it was like, I had an awesome girlfriend in middle school. She was so beautiful. He said she was a slut.
Yeah.
Oh
He
man,
said
I
she was
walked
a
in the
slut.
middle of this and Mike is drunk. What has happened?
So, Mitch.
Hey.
Joe Quesada has elected to engage. Joe Quesada has decided to.
It's about 8 months too late, my friend.
Yeah.
You people on the inside are not happy.
Well, there's no leadership there. I love. They always say
Uh,
there's freelancers, right? But it's like freelancers are not. They don't respect you. They don't respect the company. They don't respect the fans. You do nothing. Time and again, they just keep doing it. They tell people to die of cancer. They do nothing. They show people their anus. They do nothing. They tell people to feast on their butt. They do nothing. Time and time again, and they say nothing. So
Was
now
that a
even
Cyndi
doesn't talk
Lauper
about it.
song?
Oh yeah, time again.
Time
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 again.
again.
They showed their anus and then nothing happened.
Time after time.
So you miss. I see this lots. Yeah, I haven't seen that much. So
So I'm assuming this is all being addressed in a very positive and productive way, and they're going to right the ship, and everything's going to be well.
Let's
I wouldn't
see.
hold my breath.
Well, he's responded to me, and he says, Edwin, if we want to, well, let me look at the whole thread. Let's look at the whole thread. Because I said to him, Joe, Diversity in Comics has 88 plus thousand followers because he has captured the frustrations of Marvel and Disney consumers. Keep lecturing popular creators while comic stores close. Edwin, if he wants to critique comics, he should keep the personal stuff as tags out of it. I think you know this inherently. Take, for example, his position that comic professionals should be nice to the entire customer base, no matter who they are.
That's a fair
Well,
point.
maybe he shouldn't sick his writers on demand professional connections, or keep the personal stuff out of the comic books.
Yeah, well, and I for instance, I was reviewing Captain America today, and you can see like the progressive politics shine through there, and they're essentially castigating, 30, 40, 50% of the population right inside their comic book.
I know.
It's a choice.
Rhaegar Targaryen, $1.99. Guys, please apologize to Mitch.
We're sorry, man.
What did we do, Mitch?
It's a joke from Ethan's stream, and I think some people think I was really offended because I stormed out of the stream in a fake offended joke, and I think some people took it seriously. I was
So
just playing around.
He's
That's
chief
about it.
creative officer. What is that rank wise at Marvel? Is that above CB Cebulski?
I don't know. I haven't been on the inside in a while. So
Hold on, I got another one. Kaz for $2. Lunch. I don't know why. Okay, dinner. Lunch.
Okay.
Interesting.
So here's what Joe said back to me. Okay, I get that, but he and other pros who support him insult a segment of the audience they deem SJW. Isn't that insulting a segment of their audience? Not the same. Not the same. Marvel chose to alienate an existing fan base.
he is not a multi-billion-dollar company. It is different.
Not the same. Yeah,
It's not
Marvel
the same at all.
chose, you are the agent.
He responded to you again.
You are a corporate agent of one of the largest global corporations in the world.
You need to
The other guy does a podcast from IKEA.
Yes, the other man has a Supercuts, an Easy Cuts haircut, worn shoes, and holds comics in his lap.
I think you should put the Kia line in there. I think that's a lot more to the point.
It's
There's
more
a
illustrative.
There's a podcast from his late model Kia. There we go. How about
And you
that?
need to put two by the word, I think, chose to alienate.
Marvel chose to. Oh, thank you very much. Chose to alienate. Okay. And the other party.
See, for $5, you guys have a nice rent-free living space fight in the middle of Joe Q's gray matter.
The other party is a man with an easy cuts haircut. Okay. All right. I think we captured it there. Go ahead, send that. And you say he replied to me again, huh? We'll
Yep.
take a look. See 2 new tweets. Let's see, Comics is littered with creators that claim certain reasons as to why they are no longer working at a company. These creators run the political, racial, religious, and gender spectrum. They all express different reasons, but few are truly honest as to why. Ooh, Malin, it's calling you out.
Oh, what was it? Edwin Comics. Hold on, let me lock this down. Edwin Comics is littered with creators that claim certain reason as to why they are no longer working with the company. These creators run the political, racial, religious, and gender spectrum. They all express different reasons, but few are truly honest as to why. Yeah, send them the link. Send them the image of Alana Smith with that tweet. I mean,
They remember. Petridge Farm remembers.
yeah.
Patridge.
Let's see.
Hold on. Dick Feverstone for $2. Who is Antonio Malpica? Why is he TMing Comicsgate? I don't know that name or what TMing Comicsgate means.
Trademarking.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows who it is. Adam Wright, $1.99. The other guy does a podcast from his Kia. Smiley face.
Let's see. Is there a... Oh, yeah. And so I've just kind of got to copy this because Alana Smith has got me blocked. But that's okay. And so this is interesting. So he's probably going to stop talking. I can assure you that it had nothing to do with your politics or to do with his politics.
Lies.
Joe, thank you for engaging. Based on Miss, what is her name? She's what? Alana Wright?
Smith. Yeah, Alana Wright or something. I can't think of exactly.
I don't need to. Smith's communications. In the composition. Marvel's editors, Marvel Entertainment's editors, writers. This is hard. This is difficult to believe. And then let me share the link to the stream, just in case he's crying into a beer somewhere. Give me one moment here, and I will share this out.
Johnny NCLE, $4.99. Creating SJW segment comics is one thing. Puss washing, revisionism of current classic libraries, even multiverse excuse, undermines the main audience. Creating SJW segment comics. Oh, like a segment in the comics. Is one thing. Puss washing, revisionism of current. Yeah, okay, I get it. All right.
No.
Yeah.
All right. I assure you I had nothing to do with this politics. John, do you disagree?
I think that anything dealing with Alana Smith, if you're not on board, I think the message was clear to every freelancer that if you're not on board, you need to zip up and watch your back. That's what I think is what's important, and that the company never said anything. They never sent out a message to freelancers reassuring them that, look, this is not okay. We do not subscribe to what Alana Smith is saying.
Let's see. Speaking with John Malin live right now, he felt the message was, if you work with Alana Smith, if you don't have the right politics, you better zip your lip. And Marvel never contradicted her. Is that right?
I would say that if you work with Marvel, because she said in that thing, make no mistake, regardless how you, if you supported Trump, we will remember who you are, not Alana Smith. We.
If you don't have the correct politics, you better zip your lip. Is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I've done like, I went through all the Marvel writers and editors. I mean, from like top to bottom, and I've spent way too much time on this nonsense. I cannot find a single person who I believe that is a writer or editor on a reoccurring monthly title that is a conservative or a Republican. I mean, just based on analysis of their social media, they all appear to be at the least a progressive, or even further to the left. I mean, from top to bottom, I cannot find a single person that I believe from any of their communications on the writing or editorial staff at Marvel that could possibly even be like a John McCain Republican, or like a, you know what I mean, like a Connecticut Republican.
I did talk to one on the phone a few days ago, but he was pushed out about 4 or 5 years ago. So
yeah, exactly.
I just asked. I just wrote, Joe, is there a conservative, Republican, or Trump supporter who is on the editorial staff at Marvel?
Yeah. All right.
Since he's answering everything else.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see. And then let's make sure he understands. I'll put this out again just so he knows. Tweet to Joe. Joe, we are discussing these communications live here, right? Just so he knows. There you go. But and I was thinking, Malin, I was thinking about this today, man. I don't want.
He's responding to all. He's not just responding to us. He's responding to all kinds of people who are asking him questions about this.
He hasn't responded to mine. I thought it was tame too. I just said you have no leadership.
Yeah, and this is even more leadership problems, because look, it doesn't do any good to, look, if there's a couple issues, hit a couple issues and then let it go, because at least you've responded. But to just keep going and going and going in a never-ending thing, look, I mean, this adds up against you at some point. He can't even control himself on this.
Nope.
John, would you want to go back and work for Marvel?
I was talking about this on my stream, and I would say on one hand, yeah, because I'm conditioned for it. I always wanted to do Spider-Man and X-Men. These were always, my goal in being in the comics was to have an influence on these characters. Only in that would I want to go back and work for Marvel. Other than that, in the condition, the state that it's in right now, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I'd say run away from comics if you're trying to work on, these characters that you cared about.
Yeah, this is way more fun. I haven't had more fun in a long time. And you are working on the X-Men right now with Graveyard Shift on Indiegogo.com. I'm working on Captain America with Red Rooster on Indiegogo.com. And so is Mike, I guess. So this is way more fun. And we're making customers happy and making money.
Yeah. And Mark C for $5 says somebody better be capturing this before he deletes his tweets.
Yeah. Archive, everybody. Somebody needs to archive things.
Get on
We
it,
need good
people.
archivers in our community because we are watching hidden history, not just tonight, but like almost every single week now.
I've got everything pulled up in like separate windows right now. Every time he tweets, I'm just grabbing it and putting it in a window, and I'm gonna record it for sure.
And all it took was a rectum.
Yeah.
Don't it make your brown eye? Don't it make your brown eye? Don't it make your brown eye blue? All right. He responded back to Rich. When was this from? Is this tonight? I guess so. There's
Hold on, Gojirify for $2 says aloha, everyone. Aloha, Gojirify.
Let's see. There's nothing shocking about all the corporate yes men suddenly coming out against me in September, the last month of the fiscal year. They're terrified of their bosses asking them why a guy who's living in his buddy's guest room is outdoing them in most respects. And then let's see. And this is what Joe said. Nope. Not a should or Marvel has told me to say any of this. See, there you're doing it again. There you go again, Rich. Sorry, that's some boomer humor. Making up conspiracies. Take it as it's meant. This is my opinion, and I felt like talking about it after posting some wonderful Stanley soapboxes. No conspiracy, no overlords. You know what? All right, so let me tell you this to pros. Stan Lee is not your cudgel to beat consumers with. What you need to take at face value what consumers tell you. And you can't go and take some beloved figure and used it as like, I don't know, like some sort of holy prophet or something. Stan Lee was an amazing figure at Marvel Comics and in comics in general, but consumers know their own minds and speak with their own voices. And you can't just use Stan as like some sort of word of power or some magical charm to ward off criticism. Well, you can, but it doesn't work very effectively. All right. How we doing, gentlemen? Is everybody's quiet and focused, like they're copying tweets and sharing stuff.
I just keep refreshing the browser to see if he keeps on going.
Joe said to me, so let me ask you, Mike, if someone like that gave you a critique, would you consider it remotely valid? Would you be listening with both ears wide open? To it, I respond, I hear you, and again, I'm not defending any of the personal insults. I'm saying that the criticism of the left-wing propaganda fans are seeing from Marvel is exactly why DNC has grown to nearly 90,000 subs in like a year. There is a large segment of your audience who are angry.
Well, they're not his audience anymore. They're our audience, and we took it. And we're going to take more of it. We're going to take it all.
That's just it. And that's the thing that really confuses me, again, about the whole leadership position. We have nothing to lose. He has everything to lose. Again, make a couple comments and retreat, and you've done your job as whatever your position is. But Joe Quesada has nothing to gain from this. So there's heat being turned up somewhere. Something is happening. We've seen it with CB Sobalski making his remark a week or two ago, which was a big nothing burger. And I mean, look at this thing. It's starting to erupt. I mean, when it's up to Joe Quesada level, something's happening. There's a fire being lit.
Well, you know what it is. It's Alana Smith and them. Oh, that's so mean. Yeah. Daddy Joe.
Yeah, don't get on the internet if you're not ready for someone to tell you you suck. The internet is not a place for you to be.
Edwin Acevedo says that Tom Brevoort is joining the party.
Good.
Oh, great, wonderful.
Somebody else,
whatever you do, don't double down. Please, guys, don't double down on anything that you're doing. Don't do that at all. Don't chase more people our way. That would be terrible.
Well, now I was getting ready to tweet at Joe Quesada. Mitch Breitweiser says, "I drink your milkshake. I drink it all up."
Let me people in the chat. So Tom Brevoort, if he responds, can you just tag me in a screenshot of that? I don't want to close this browser because I have everything he's tweeted pulled up right now. So I don't want to switch to my Watchman account.
Yeah,
So please screenshot and DM me or tag me in it, please.
So Tom Brevoort's position when I brought that up to Alana Smith was real simple. He said that by me complaining about the political intimidation, that I was punching down because presumably because Alana Smith is a female and I'm a male, so I don't get to complain about the actions of a female using political intimidation.
That sounds kind of sexist.
It's incredibly, yeah. It was all election speak, because that's what the Hillary thing was. We're not going to punch down, and me bringing up this point was me punching down, even though she was in a position of power over me.
A couple chats here. Greg Usterbrook for $5 Canadian. Tim Doyle is telling Joe not to come on. This communication to happen.
What? We're your peers, Joe. Come on.
Yeah, great loaner for $2. Robbie has the hole that keeps on giving.
Oh no. Let's see. What am I sharing now? I'm gonna take mine off a screen share for a minute.
All right.
Because I don't think I can see tweets from
Tom.
Yeah.
How unhappy do you think Tim Doyle's wife is? Pretty unhappy.
Wouldn't
anyone in the sphere of Tim Doyle is probably unhappy. He wanders the neighborhood playing Pokemon Go in people's driveways.
Calls the police over dead chickens.
Pokemon Go every day.
Oh, interesting days. Interesting days.
They have absolutely nothing to win at all. Nothing to win. It's foolish.
Oh, shouldn't we be throwing the links to our Indiegogos on this?
No.
I mean, that's what I would do, but I'm in the chat. Somebody could do it for us.
Yeah, there's nothing shocking.
So that way the customers know where to go. Somebody...
Diversity in Comics said, there's nothing shocking about all the corporate yes men suddenly coming out against me in September, the last month of the fiscal year. They're terrified of their bosses asking them why a guy who's living in... Hold on. You didn't already read this, did you?
I think so. And I just got a DM from Rich, and this is pretty straightforward. And it kind of paraphrasing, it looks like Joe wants to focus on what Rich was doing and the way he was communicating a year ago, which is interesting because I haven't had a chance to listen to a lot of DNC's reviews here recently, but it's my understanding that he has actually tried to be a whole lot more moderate in his reviews. Am I mistaken on that?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Those are all the weaknesses in the arguments because that's all going to be subjective. It's all going to be he said, she said. The stuff that matters is what came out of editorial. That's all that matters. That's the sexism. That's open racism against white people and open discrimination against Republicans. That's what matters. It's provable. It's 100% provable. Everything else is all gray area that people are just going to he said, she said about. If you want to win, you hammer down on what's going on at editorial. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and here's the whole thing. Marvel can't be changed. Barring people being fired, if you've got everybody with one particular political persuasion in their writing and editorial from top to bottom, it cannot be changed because no one else can get in, right? They're not going to hire. And they've told you as much. They're not going to hire somebody who has a conservative spectrum. And I don't want to silence liberal voices. I think it's absolutely great to have someone like Ta-Nehisi Coates writing comic books. But if this is the only voice, right, then you get stuff like Captain America, which is now just a vehicle for political propaganda, for a particular type of political propaganda. And it's not balanced with anything else. So there's nobody at Marvel saying, hey, maybe we should entertain fans. maybe we shouldn't take a beloved character right after we made him a Nazi and then use him as a vehicle to castigate and subtly mock half the people in the United States and probably 3/4 of the people who actually purchase comic books, right? Because let's be honest here. Most of the people purchasing comic books now are like probably closer to somewhere between like Yellow Flash and my age.
Oh, I
And-
disagree. I think those people quit purchasing comic books between 5 and 6 months ago.
Yeah.
They used to be the audience.
Yeah.
I know a lot of those people that spent several $100s a month with kids, and they've all walked away.
Yeah.
Many such stories.
And you can look at Comic-Con and look how fast stuff drops off now. Like X-Men Red. I think it debuted at like 95,000 units. I think it's down to a third of that now. Gail Simone did Domino, like a reboot of Domino. I think it's dropped now to about, within 4 issues, it's dropped to about 22,000 copies a month. This is at the world's largest comic book company, right? Gail Simone's supposed to be one of the premier writers, one of the most popular writers. Like she's got, what has she got? Like 100,000 Twitter followers. They like her tweets, but they don't like to buy her comic books for some reason.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Has Joe responded?
Let me
He hasn't
check.
yet. Been 13 minutes.
He's probably been listening to our chat, and he took my advice that he has nothing to win by this.
Well, then, yeah. Why don't we assume he is listening? Hold on. Marsupial Gamer for $2. Robbie Rectum is the terror that flaps in the night.
Oh no.
Taz again for $2. Love Edwin. Yeah. I mean, let's assume he's listening. Did you send him the link?
The link to get in?
No, to watch.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, well, Joe, if you're listening, there's a movement under your feet of, I would estimate at least 100,000 comic book fans. 100,000 comic book fans watching all the different personalities. Yellow Flash, John Malin, myself, Edwin, yes, Diversity in Comics, yes, Edwin Van Sciver. I mean, there's a bunch of people. We're talking to those fans, and we're bringing back prodigal fans we hear from every day who have quit the comic book hobby. I mean, these are guys, like us, who've been picking up comic books at the stores since we're, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14 years old for 20, 30, 40 years, and they've quit. They've quit something that they love because of the direction that you and your editorial staff, who, as far as I can tell, are all, I mean, I don't know how left-wing you are. I think you're, as far as I've ever known, you're like a reasonably moderate fellow. But the staff, they're pushing this left-wing propaganda, and it's pushing away fans. And we listen. It's like the old letter pages. You know how they say one person that writes to the letter page stands for 1,000 people who agree but don't write. You remember that saying, right? Well, we listen to these fans every day by the thousands who have walked away from this hobby because of poor stewardship under your leadership. I'm sorry. And the editorial staff that you've placed underneath you. And Joe, if you don't do something, that is going to continue to leak. You're not reaching new fans. You haven't reached children in 30 years. And I'm scared for my industry. This is just as much my industry as it is yours. I love it just as much as you do. And I'm scared of watching it die. And if you don't do something, course correct here, steer this ship back on the right direction. It doesn't have to be some right-wing thing. Just get the flippin' politics out of the comics. Get back to writing great stories. Take the Jim Shooter route. Hire great people. not people based on their skin color, not people based on their religion or anything else. Hire them because they're fans of this stuff and they love it and they're great talents. You know, help yourself, help all of us to save this industry, because again, at least 100,000 people are flocking to YouTube to follow us. I mean, imagine 100,000 people coming back into the comic book industry, walking back into comic book stores. What effect would that have on your bottom line and on our industry as a whole? I mean, I'm begging you. Do
Mike,
right.
I'm going to take a slight bit of issue with that. We're doing it. We're doing it. I don't care. I don't care what he does or doesn't do. I don't care what Marvel does or doesn't do. I'm assuming they're just going to double down. That's been my expectation based on past evidence predicting future trends. But we're doing it.
I gotta have hope. I gotta have hope.
I have hope.
Well,
This is hope. This is hope. This is hope. This is the future. Engaging fans one-on-one directly. Door-to-door salesman of comic books over YouTube and the internet. Indiegogo, finding new ways to get them in the hands of kids, which we will do. I say let them go. Let them go.
I've got the
Don't be
responses
upset
from
about it.
Tom Brevoort.
Yeah, but
John.
dude, if
But
they
John's
go, the direct market goes with them.
It'll be what will rise will be even bigger.
You want to hear the responses that Tom Brevoort said? You can't see them because he's blocked all of us. They're to John.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, share them if
So,
you can.
Is it a quote tweet?
There's screenshots that got sent to me because he's blocked me. He's probably got you guys blocked as well.
I'm not blocked.
Go to
okay.
Tom Brevoort. He's tweeted at John Malin 3 times now. 4 times. Oh, they're still coming. He says you're a liar, John.
No.
I don't believe him, but that's what he's saying.
Well,
Okay.
hey, Miller, I need to start cooking dinner. I'll be back in if you guys are still going.
All right. Kaz, for $2, the movement is at your fingertips. Keep going.
Hey, thanks, Chief Justice Optimus, by the way. He's the one sending me these screenshots.
Well, great. You just called him out. He's going to get blocked.
Oh, he might not be using that account. You never know.
No, I talked to Tom Brevoort on the phone. I was in a Home Depot parking lot during the time I was having this, what became a very loud discussion. This is also the same discussion where he told me he wasn't there to stroke my dick regarding how I felt about being left out of the creative process of the books that I was working on. It's all 100% true. 100%. I don't care what Tom Brevoort says. 100% true. I told him about Alana Smith. I told him about Alana Smith. He said I was punching down by even bringing it up. Because she's a woman and I'm a man. And even though she's in a position of power over me, it doesn't work that way for people who may not be liberal.
Yeah, Flash, did you want to share those screenshots or no?
Okay, so I'll read them off. There was a time when I or Alana asked John Malin for corrections or adjustments on things to bring them within Marvel standards, but that's no different from any other artist who works for Marvel. I couldn't have told you what his politics were. They weren't relevant. The only political intimidation John Malin got from Alana or myself was being hired for gigs and being recommended for other gigs. I have no idea what's made him go so off the rails in this, but that's the truth of it.
He knows.
Hold on, he's not done yet. There's a big old rant. The only other time that politics ever entered into things was when John Malin pitched writing a team-up story between Captain America and the President, and we told him we weren't interested in that. And it honestly mystifies me.
That's true.
It honestly mystifies me how John Malin turned this into some crusade against Alana when nobody has been more diligent about suggesting him for other jobs than she was. She was the person who advocated for him to do cable. Outside of that, I don't know who he works with, live or let live. It just won't be with me. Targeting my assistant for harassment over whatever nonsensical reason he was feeling. He can say he can do as he likes, but his right, but that's not cool. His behavior is relevant now, not his politics. I personally won't hire him again, but anybody else at Marvel is free to do so.
Ridiculous. He's lying. So I don't know what else to say. Everything I've said is 100% true.
Well, he's leaving out that tweet where she said, you know, what was it? You know, we're going to remember if you voted for Trump.
Yeah,
which excludes potentially perhaps 50% of all current and future artists.
Yes,
that
and
might
people that
rise.
work in the office. And people that work in the office. It's not just freelancers. If you work in that office, you may feel highly uncomfortable about talking about any political allegiance to Trump or being conservative or libertarian. I mean, that spreads out like cancer. That's not just freelancers. That's everybody.
Tom, nobody likes Alana because she's a B.
I never met her, so dude,
Neither have I.
She can recommend me all she wants, allegedly. That doesn't change the facts. And she's just one part of this big picture. Again, this goes beyond Alana Smith. This goes right up to Sana Amanat's behavior, even Axel Alonso's past behavior. This goes to Sarah Brunstad's behavior, Christina Harrington's behavior. And then we can get into the freelancers. But there's plenty of people that are right there in there, deep, that are serious PR problems for Marvel and Disney, including Tom Brevoort.
Tom Brevoort's the worst. I don't know how that guy still has a job after all the crap he said to fans and everything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they've all been anti-Republican, anti-conservative. They've told countless fans and freelancers, whatever, you're not welcome here if you're not supporting Hillary or Bernie. So, and you can even ask. Well, he'll probably deny it, but Tom Brevoort also is the one who said that white people are allowed to wear dreadlocks. Allegedly or presumably because that's cultural appropriation.
A made-up word.
Yeah.
I don't like using made-up words.
Yeah.
This is funny, Edwin. He actually, one of those was a reply to you. And you can't even see it because he blocked you. Oh, he left. Shit.
Oh, the Brevoort one?
Yeah, one of them was.
But it was that's what started that whole thread, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but look at this, guys. I mean, if Tom Brevoort's in it now, I'm telling you, they are feeling a huge amount of pressure to try to squash us out. And, you know, really, there's nothing they can do to us. We have nothing to lose, really. So they have everything. I think this is a great moment for Comicsgate right now.
Yeah. Hey, Kaz wants to know, tell me how to graveyard.
Oh, how to graveyard? Well, you can go to Indiegogo for Graveyard Shift. It's the Universal Monsters if they were the X-Men.
Razduck says, I back Jawbreakers. Even Tom Brevoort has to like that big monkey. Yeah, so if there's anybody new in here, I mean, we're all doing Indiegogos here. Well, except for Yellow Flash. Are you going to do one?
I'm going to do something next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
Right.
I need to do some research before I just throw something out. But I got some stuff I want to do.
Yeah. Well, mine is Lone Star. It's on Indiegogo. It's called LoneStarComic.com. You can go directly there. Check it out if you like it. Tom, Joe, please check it out. If you like it, support it. I'd really appreciate your guys' support. Mitch here still has Red Rooster going long and strong. It's going to be up for a while, right, Mitch?
It is, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be up for a while, but get on it now.
Get on it now. And, of course, Graveyard Shift by the great John Malin, also on Indiegogo. Please do check them out. The links are in the chat right now. Thank you, Testosterone and Jiminy Cricket. So,
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. It is 12:30. I haven't seen my wife in 2 days, so I'm gonna wrap this up. John, are you gonna take this over to your stream?
No, I think I'm gonna go to bed. So I already did my stream for the night. This is all fun, but look, if Joe Quesada isn't popping in here, I really have no interest. They can keep digging their own grave. Every tweet they make is another win for us. That's it.
I think he's done. Let's see. It's been 27 minutes since his last one.
And he's Pacific, he's Eastern time, so he's probably passed out, drunk.
All right, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm gonna go. I'm tired. So.
All right, guys.
Yeah. See you, John. Thanks for the invite, Mike.
Yeah.
Yep.
See you guys.
See you guys. Thanks for
Good
having me
night.
on.
Yep. Take it easy. And so the time has come again. Good night. Sleep tight. I'm not going to do Edwin's entire little speech, but yeah, do your best to be good people. Treat people kindly. React slowly. Don't react in anger. People tend to say some stupid things on the internet, and just don't feed that fire. Don't feed that fire. Come at it rationally. Come at it with respect and understanding, and try to find a place of agreement before you try to tear somebody's head off for disagreeing with you. Not as eloquent as Edwin, but that's kind of the message going out for tonight. So love you all. Thank you all for being here. Please do like the stream before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. We're here usually 2 times a day, but not on Sundays. So I won't see you tomorrow unless we jump on and do some crazy video game stuff. Who knows? So thanks, everybody. Love you. Aloha, Lone Star Squadron. You are dismissed.